It truly is that time for another video here today. It's your boy Toon Taylor, and we are here for my fairy tale hot takes video. I've been working, I haven't really been working on this long, but I have like several hot takes about fairy tale. I wanted to do it after the final season, but I think I'm going to do this, then revise it based off of any new information we get um from the final season when I finish reacting to it, everything. But I'm at a certain point where some of them I could have put on here, some I've saved. I put one on here, but I'm gonna go more in detail in a different video, and then I have another one that I saved completely for a different video because I went on like a full-on tangent by myself talking about this, and I had to write it down, and I was like, this could be a video. So instead, I have 10 of like, not really hot takes. I guess they're like hot takes, opinions that I found throughout. I'm only going up till the end of 2014 fairy tale. So nothing with the final season, none of that knowledge. So that's where we're gonna start with. I'm gonna go from 10 because 10 is like, I don't really care as much about this, to 1 is I care so much about this it literally makes no sense to me. So without further ado, we are going to start off with number 10, and that is S rank lost all meaning after Tenro. So the S class rank was, we had a whole arc about it where we went to Tenro, see who was going to be the next S class wizard. It was like Loxus, Mystigan, Jalal from Daedalus, Mira, Urza, and Gildart were all the S class wizards. And it was like a big thing because only they could go on these missions. Like Natu, Lucy, and Happy stole a mission from the S class board, go there, and then once we hit Tenro, once we fought Grimoire Heart and Agnologia, they never really did anything with like the S class thing ever again. Well, first of all, they never did anything with Quest again. It was mentioned here or there, but like Quest wasn't as big as they were back in the day. And again, it's not that big of a deal to me, but it was something that really rubbed me the wrong way, that like this was such a big thing and then it just kind of got washed away for no reason. Yeah, so that's number 10. I think that's fair. Number 9, I have Mira Jane pre-death Lizana personality doesn't make sense. Or it doesn't fit well. Now, if you don't remember, because I barely remembered it, when we saw flashbacks of the Lizana timeline before Lucy joined everything, before she died, Mira was very edgy. She butted heads with Urza a lot. And then we get to the present day and she's not like that at all. Now, obviously, thinking about it, it has to match with her Saint Soul power. Like that's the power of the Saint Soul, and she's edgy like that. But I really truly believe that they could have kept the fact that she was the nice girl 24/7 because of the fact that it's more interesting that Mira's all happy 24/7 and then she's her Saiyan soul powers and she's a literal demon. But again, it was because of the Lizana death, that's why she changed. But as a character, Lizana is just kind of there, period. Like she's after Daedalus, Lizana's just there. I really barely noticed Lizana because Elfman and Mira do so much more than she does. I mean, you see her, but she's not like, she doesn't stand out like Elfman and Mira. The fact that the two of them competed in the Grand Magic Games and she didn't. that's the type of thing. So that's why I say like her personality wise. It also I didn't like the fact that they basically tried to make her and Urza the Natsu and Gray. So why change? I give her a different personality when she was a kid. I don't know. Beyond me. But we're moving past that now. Um, Number 8 is the funniest one to me. Because A thought about it and it really is like, yeah, how did this get allowed? Loxus should have never been allowed back in Fairy Tail. Um, so when I say this, going back to the Battle of Fairy Tail, yes, Loxus was that about how Fairy Tail was being run and looked at everything, but damn, um, yes, Loxus was upset about how the guild was being run and everything and how they were being looked at, but this man really was trying to blow up Magnolia. Like he started a full on battle of Fairy Tail. He had the Thunder Legion fighting people. He stood there, fought Mystigan. I think he fought Urza. I don't really remember. But he fought Gajildan and Natsu. And then the kicker of everything is he pulled out Fairy Law. Not no, and I think about it. I'm like, oh, this is to show that he cares about them. Like he was actually such an like he actually is a nice guy. No, if Loxus genuinely hated them even a little bit, Fairlaw would have worked. He had it loaded up. He was ready to use it. He he wasn't playing games. Like Loxus shouldn't have been allowed back. He was a full on menace for that dog. It I don't understand. I get he's also Makarov's grandson, but still he was going down the path of his father, and I'm getting to his father soon. His father is like a top 3 topic I have here. I'm We're gonna move on because again, Loxus being not allowed is it's funny to me because he's allowed back. Like, hey, I did try to kill you. I do somewhat hate you, but not enough to where the spell works. It's just funny. Ah. All right, number 7. I have them all written over here. Number 7, I have Lucy use underuses a good amount of her keys. I've never really noticed that Lucy really does play favorites when it comes to her keys. And it's, pre time she's like, it's Aquarius, Taurus. Pre Loki, it's Aquarius, it's Taurus, and it's I think it's Sagittarius she uses a lot. But then she gets Loki, and then it's Taurus, Loki, and Taurus, Loki, and Aquarius constantly, and then she gains Gemini, Scorpio, and Aries. She rarely uses Gemini and Scorpio. She uses Aries here and there. Virgo. I forgot Virgo. She uses Virgo. Virgo kind of just shows up sometimes as well. But she rarely uses Gemini. She rarely uses Scorpio. She gets the Capricorn key. She barely uses Capricorn, and then she barely uses Cancer. But Cancer really wasn't all that anyways. And like I would say, Aries is a fair amount, but she spams Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius. It was actually very shocking to see that she really does spam those, and some of them can be used for. I mean, some of them did have big moments, like Gemini did have a big moment with the Grand Magic Games. Scorpio, not really. Cancer, not really. Um, Capricorn, not at all. I don't even think I don't think she's really touched Capricorn's key. I just thought that was very interesting that like it like Capricorn was seen as a powerhouse in the Grimoire Heart arc. but she doesn't use it. Scorpio was seen as a powerhouse in your Echelon 6 arc, but she doesn't use it. So it was just so weird that that's what happened with that. The biggest fan of Juvia Oliver Gray. Um, I think a lot of people take this as like you're not the biggest fan of Juvia. I actually really like Juvia. I think Juvia is one of the strongest, if not one of the top three strongest female characters in Fairy Tail. But I do think they overdo the bit of her being obsessed with Ray in the anime, not in the manga. In the anime, she is constantly over Gray, and um the best character I can put her in comparison with that I also don't like a lot that I see happen a lot is Sanji with Nami and Robin. Like both of them are really good characters, but that bit of them being overly in love with these certain characters is annoying. Um, at times it's like it's good, every few episodes, but like when it's every single time they're on screen with that character, it's annoying. Um, or even the fact like uh when she imagines Gray, especially with Lucy, like if it's just Gray and Lucy, she'll just immediately turn on Lucy. It's kind of weird at times. It's I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it's cool here and there, just not all the time, dog. Number 5. Now this may be taken out of context, that's why I have to explain it. But number 5, I have that I think Gray is a very boring character at times. Um, Looking back at Gray now, before I even get into why I say this, Gray is my second favorite character in the just kidding. Gray is the top 5 favorite character in the show for me. Um, but his character is built kind of around obsessions to the point that once we've dealt with that obsession, his character just kind of he's just kind of there. Specifically talking about it, the first obsession that we ever see with Gray is with his master, Or and Deliora. We have a whole arc on it to where he is obsessed with it, and then he's still like he's still on the whole Deliora stuff and everything like that. So we have Ultir. We get to the Ultir stuff. We see him and Ultir talk it out and do stuff, and he's still obsessed about it to the point that it's like it's his only thing. So when Ultir finally dies, and at this point, Gray is nothing. Once or not dies, she becomes an old lady. But once Ultir becomes an old lady, Gray's character is just gone. He's just reverted to a guy who takes off his clothes and bickers with Natsu. That's it. That's actually, and he doesn't even bicker with Natsu that often. Once his character is once that whole thing happens, to where we have to throw in the thing with his dad and Demon Slayer magic, and then with END, to where at this point he's just I have to destroy END. I have to destroy END. I have to destroy END. Like he's a broken record at most times in the show. I just wish he had something else. He would be so much. He's so cool. He's so cool. When he got his God Slayer thing, like as a character, Gray is so cool. But he's very bland. At times, he doesn't do anything else. Like Lucy has the whole writing shtick going for her. The Urza has the whole thing about sweets, which is very odd, but still very cool. I'm sorry. You take away Deliora, take away Deliora first of all. Gray's just a boy. You take away the God slaying magic and END. What does Gray do? What I'm being serious. I genuinely can't think of what Gray does after Deliora and END as a character, because that's literally been his only two obsessions. He really didn't care about his dad until his dad showed up and we figured out who he is. I was that's the character I think of Gray. He's very boring at times, but he's still very cool with his powers. It makes up for it. If you get what I'm saying, if you get what I'm saying. That, number four. Number four is I don't like the Eclipse Gate. I'm gonna be that guy. I don't like the Eclipse Gate. I think this is the one that needs a whole nother video once I finish the Fairy Tail series in its entirety to see if the Eclipse Gate gets brought back up again. But the Eclipse Gate to me is by far the worst thing I've seen from the show. I don't like the whole bringing things from the past into the future to the point that it's like you need two celestial wizards from each time to do like it's written weirdly, and then they threw the fact that Zeref created it. I was like, okay, that's cool. Zeref created it to bring back his brother, but then they threw in the whole thing about the celestial wizards earlier. So I was like, was Zeref a celestial wizard? If he was a celestial wizard, how does he know? How do you know that there's going to be another wizard on the other side to open the gate? Type stuff. To the point, how did we know you needed all 12 keys? Who who had, how does that person possess all 12 keys but you don't? You see how this Eclipse Gate thing doesn't, it really doesn't work long term. Again, I've, besides what's gone down with the whole Zeref created to see his brother, I have no other knowledge of it. So this could come back and bite me and be like, oh wait, it's actually really cool. As of right now, it's really lame. I really don't like it. I just it bugs me because it has a really cool concept, but it's actually very bad long term. And I think that also, no, I have to get off this one because this it's a video for later. If it stays the way it is right now, it's a video that's about to be 30 minutes of why I hate the Eclipse Gate. But for right now, dog, it's just not that video for me. It's just not that thing for me. I can't stand it. Number three, I hate how they use some characters in Fairy Tail. Now, obviously, some people do get the love they deserve, where it's like a built-in, full-fledged, like Lizana. Obviously, she's related to Elfman and Mira. The Thunder Legion. Not only were they big in Battle of Fairy Tail, they are big in um the Tenro arc. They're big somewhere else. They'll probably be big in final season somehow, some way, because they're related to Logus. Oh, now they were kind of knocked out for. Yeah, they were kind of knocked out for Tartaros. Oh, I kind of have to throw the Thunder Legion in there. They were two. They were powerhouse, and then Tartaros got wiped. I don't like that. But people I'm talking about specifically are like Max. No, I'm like genuine. Like I had to make sure I was talking about the same dude. Max was shown in when we got back from Tenro as this like, yeah, I've gotten so much stronger. And I believed it. Like he pulled that shit out. He was like, yeah, Natsu for me, and Natsu said lightning dragon magic, and that was the end of Max's character. I was like but like I'm not saying like these guys need big fights. I'm just thinking like even against some lackeys they would be cool. We don't see them against lackeys or like them actually fighting. A character that I think deserves way more respect, Lockout. Sure, he was given the title of master while they were gone, but he's still a master. He was still a master. I don't get the hate in the show for him. He did he literally once that master title was stripped from him, he was gone. He was a useless character. Um, Joy and Jet, they're clinging on the fact that they know Levy so hard, and it's so hard to watch. Sometimes it is so hard to watch them sometimes because they literally the what were they called? The Shadow Gear? The Shadow Gear? That was such a sick team name. Everything. Throw Gajild in that, man. Crazy. Once Gajild actually showed up, it became Gajild, Levy, them two. Then Lily got thrown into it. Gajild, Levy, Lily, them. They were not important. And especially when Homeboy he became fat, dog. They 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 were disappointments. And my biggest disappointment out of all of them, and I think, and I'm hoping the final season proves me wrong. Romeo. Romeo was hyped. I was hyped for Romeo, dog. He was in the earlier episodes. He was like, oh, remember my dad. He was as prominent in the opening when they disappear, and then he ages up, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, he's gonna be a dog. He learned fire magic because of Natsu. I'm thinking he's going to be a dog, and then he doesn't do anything. He hasn't fought anybody. We had we had the Starry Heaven arc and the Celestial uh Gate Key arc thing, and he didn't do anything. We really didn't do anything. Tartaros, he didn't do anything. And don't say like, oh, but because he's like a kid, what is Wendy doing? And sure, I've seen the comments about Wendy being something years old. She's not actually however old she is. She still has the body of a 13-year-old girl. She's the same age as Romeo right now as he is. That she just got sent to whatever. However that works. I don't however y'all is explaining it about Wendy. I haven't seen it yet. Wendy and Romeo, they're the same. But it's Wendy. Then again, she is a dragon slayer. I just wish Romeo got the respect. He deserves more. He deserves better. And that's fine. Ivan should have been a main character. A main villain. I don't think this is a video I'm making currently, but I don't think I've ever been more disappointed in a character drop in an anime than Ivan. Like Ivan was brought up back in Battle of Fairy Tail. Most of this stuff leads back to the Battle of Fairy Tail. Ivan was brought up in the Battle of Fairy Tail. I kid you not. I was like, oh yeah, Ivan's gonna be crazy. We had to send a spy. He's the father of Loxus. He's gonna go stupid. Didn't talk about him for like 100+ episodes. We get to the Grand Magic Games, Raventail. I'm like, oh yeah, Ivan's gonna be sick. He's gonna be the main villain. He's gonna come in here and do something crazy. The team just bullies Fairy Tail in the Grand Magic Games. Like, I'm thinking they're gonna be the main villain, but Sabretooth was out here being more menacing than they were. I was more interested in Sabretooth than I was Raventail. And that's crazy because Raventail was said to be the perfect counter to Fairy Tail. The fact that there were 5 of them. But yeah, moving on. And then we get to Ivan's going to fight. He fights Loxus with the other members of his Raventail. And folds. He gets folded. 5v1 gets folded. What is that? Like, I was so frustrated. The fact that Ivan really wasn't that guy. And I was hoping he would be that guy. And I was hoping like, oh, we're gonna get a filler arc, something where Ivan is going to be the main villain. No. Lang. Or I was thinking like, oh, maybe this whole thing with the dragons is actually going to be Ivan. No, it's not. It was Rogue from the future. Why? Who knows? I'm gonna die on the hill. I have another video coming out too. I'm plugging it as much as possible because it's gonna be great. I have a video coming up about this whole situation where I think Ivan should have been a main villain, and he didn't even have to be a like main killing villain. He just had to be. What they gave him was not it. It's, with all the hype, what they gave him with all the hype is not it, Doug. It's frustrating. It's frustrating as heck. That's why it's number 2, because it's one of the most frustrating things I've ever thought about. And lastly, number 1. This one, this one is, I don't even think it's a hot take. I just think it's, I don't even think this video is a hot take anymore. I just think this is literally like my things that I hate about this or dislike about the show. Number 1, Magic Council is a bunch of frauds. I'm not talking about the new one with the 10 wizard saints, obviously, as I've mentioned that before. I'm talking about the previous Magic Council, where their only job was to hate on Fairy Tail. I kid you not. I went back and looked at I had to find points to back up this video, and I kid you not, the Magic Council was only there to shit on Fairy Tail, to the point that the thing, the Dark Guild that beats them, prior to them getting blown up and destroyed, they're trying to blame Fairy Tail for something. Why? What did they do? Like, I kid you not. I was like thinking about it. I was like, wow, the Magic Council really are a bunch of bad people. To the point that your main dude leading the Magic Council was pawning you. He had his own ulterior motives that you didn't. I'll give him a bit of that. Didn't know that Fairy Tail members, or did they? I don't remember. If you didn't know that Fairy Tail members were on the Tower of Heaven, and you chose to launch the Ethereum cannon, I don't blame you. But if you did know, you were just hating on Fairy Tail. They sent homeboy Thornbolt Mest to infiltrate Fairy Tail because they hated Fairy Tail, to where they called their backup and said, oh, this is getting dangerous. Fairy Tail really not looking like them. Let's blow up the island with another Ethereum cannon. Fairy Tail is on the island and you want to blow it up. Dog, I was like, I genuinely think about it. I'm like, everything that came to them from Tartaros, they deserved. They deserved. They were so focused on Fairy Tail, they let a Dark Guild sneak behind them. The fact that the big 3, that holy trinity of Dark Guilds, they didn't do shit. Fairy Tail knocked out Grimoire Heart. Fairy Tail knocked out the Irrational Says, and they knocked out Tartaros. You got bodied by Tartaros. Let them. You thought about blowing up them and Grimoire Heart and Irrational Says. Honestly, they weren't that big of a threat. They were kind of a bunch of pushovers, but it was early in the show. Yeah, and it was also to the point that they were like, they allowed guild on guild action. They allowed Phantom to come put holes in their guild and didn't do shit. Like, the Magic Council were a bunch of bullies. They only cared if Fairy Tail did something bad. It was so obvious. It was so obvious. They were the biggest I hate Fairy Tail fans, and I was like they were the biggest I hate Fairy Tail antis. I didn't understand. They probably thought that Fairy Tail uses too much power of friendship too. That's why they hated them so much. I was like, dude, this is bad. This is so bad. Do your job. I was fuming. I was actually fuming, to the point that once the old one got blown up and destroyed, they said we have to get the strongest wizards alive. We have to get the 10 wizard saints, bring them in, make a new Magic Council. They do that. Not once do we hear. So what the fuck is Fairy Tail doing today that they're messing up? Then again, they were disbanded for a year, but still, they weren't like Fairy Tale. Fuck them. Like the old Magic Council. The old Magic Council looked at Fairy Tale like they're just gonna up somehow. I I genuinely believe that they had a I hate Fairy Tale fan page because it was at that point that they were going stupid over Fairy Tale, dog. I was absolutely crying at how much they hated them. Ugh. Oh man, I didn't expect this. This is gonna be a video that needs to be edited. But if you're still here right now, I've been talking for 42 minutes about this list of 10 things. So I have to go watch to see what I actually said in this whole thing. It's gonna be absolute madness. But anyways, it has been your boy. I hope you enjoyed my opinions. I want to hear your opinions because they could be on the same page. You could agree with me, you could disagree with me. I don't mind if you disagree with me. I just think these are some that I thought about. They probably could have gone more in detail if I thought about them more. Um, but they were just something that were on my mind, and I thought it would be fun to do this video. I thought it'd be interesting. So if you did enjoy today's video, please like. If you're new, please subscribe down below. Link to my social media and my Patreon where you can get full-length reactions to things such as Fairy Tale. Others is in the description down below. I'll see you on my next video. Peace.